I'm Guy Kesterman, the Tester Man, and today I'm talking to you about the Teravail, Camrock and Drawpoint tyres. Now, if you're in the UK, you might not have heard of Teravail before, but relatively big brand in the US where they're based, and particularly big in gravel. And I've actually been using their tyres. I had the mountain bike tyres first. I had the E-line a while back, and I think I got a review onto Bike Perfect, but I'm not sure I ever did a video on them. It's when I had the Forbidden Druid as a long-termer, and obviously that's a bike that likes beating its way down rocks, seemingly without any reference to the square and janky edges of them. But unfortunately, that did not play well with those E-line tyres, so I didn't think they lasted long on there. But yeah. And then I went on to use the tyres a lot on my gravel tandem. And that's where they've really showed the kind of Teravail strengths, which are very high comfort, very, very supple carcasses, and soft compound rubber combined with that soft carcass, which gives them a lovely trail manners and a lot of grip, but means you won't be finding them on many fast rolling charts, and also the tread pattern tends to wear down pretty quickly. And that's exactly where both these tyres kind of sit. But what might be surprising is the fact that that's not what they look like, or kind of how they're sold either. They're very much sold as a kind of an XC downcountry tyre, particularly this Camrock. The name comes from, it's a snowboard design term. It's kind of a blend between a camber and a rocker, whereas a camber is really grippy and a rocker is more sort of agile and responsive. And that's kind of what you got here. You've got open tread blocks with a slightly bigger side knob, as you can see. And this is available in their fast compound, in the light trail version, or in the durable carcass as well. So this is a 740 gram tyre. So again, you know, reasonably light. It chimes in with things like Racing Ralph, Racing Ray, the Victoria Mezcal and things like that, that look like they're in that category. And to be fair, in the fast compound, this is a reasonably quick rolling tyre. You know, low knobs, plenty of spacing. But where the surprise comes in is the fact that that really supple carcass, I think it's almost like the Schwalbe radial carcasses. It does seem to slow the tyre down in terms of outright roll. So they don't feel as quick as they look or as the compound might feel. But on the other hand, really, really grippy. I was actually going to record this review last week and swap to the the new Barzos. But I didn't have time, so I was like, oh, well, I'll run them again tonight. And I'm really glad I did, because up to that point, I've been kind of like, 75 quid, they're more expensive than better known options, so I'm not really sure why you go for them. But I actually had a really, really good ride on them. With this on the back, because it's faster, and because none of the tread, this is something that Teravail actually deliberately do. They don't overlap any of their tread blocks, so there's space all the way around them. So the tread blocks don't kind of interfere with the suppleness of that carcass, which gives them that really, really smooth footprint, and like I say, super comfortable tyre. Really, really nice vibe. Kind of like the Specialized tyres as well, like the Specialized Butcher and things like that, where if you put them on the back of a hardtail or on quite a taut full suspension bike, these are going to be a real comforter and soother. They feel like they're running several PSI lower than they actually are. I've given them a reasonable beating. I've not done a ton of time at Stainburn, so I don't know if they blow up too quickly like the E-line did on really sharp edges, but in general use, they've been fine. And the Drawpoints, which is the tyre I'll get onto next, I've been using them on and off since the Ardmore's Enduro in June, and that's got plenty of rocks on it. And again, similar, slightly undersized, 59mm, so 2.3, not 2.4. But these have survived a thorough beating without any ill effects in terms of carcass damage, and you know, there's no thread coming through or anything like that. There's no obvious signs of stress, even when I've run them at relatively low pressures. Although, to be fair, like I say, you don't really need to. 23 in these feels more like a 20, so you can get away with a bit more pressure, which again adds a bit more survivability in terms of sort of belligerent geology having a go at them. And again, you'd looking at it again, more open, slightly more aggressive tread, certainly on the shoulders there. You've got bigger lugs, and that's exactly what Teravail refer to as well. They taller shoulder lugs, and there's more siping on these as well, so there's more ability for the lugs to move. These are more solid blocks. There's more little splits and notches in these, so again, it allows an even greater level of sort of conformity and compliance onto the trail. And these only come in the grip compound. You can get them in light trail or in the durable carcass. And to be honest, I've been running light trail on front, durable on the back, and they're only about 25 grams difference. I think the light trail is 847, whereas the durable in this size is 873. So you may as well go for the durable. The only thing that kind of sticks, literally, that wasn't meant to be a Freudian slip, but it wasn't meant to be a pun, but more of a Freudian slip, is that this grip compound is really, really soft. Again, it feels soft. I haven't got an exact durometer number for it, but it's just really slow and sticky, which means this tyre grips far more than you'd expect. Again, Ardmore's got fairly slippery. If any of you were there, you'll know, and even my video that was shot on the, is that in shot? I don't know. If it's not, me Carbon Wasp is over there. It's kind of the first ride on that. And I had these on the front and the back, and yeah, far more grip, even in really greasy, loose, slippery conditions than I expected. But on the other hand, I was pedalling downhill to try and catch Gabe, who was just freewheeling on Nobby Nick softs. Sorry, not on Magic Mary softs. So that gives you an indication of just how slow rolling these tyres are, which is certainly not what they look like. And because this is what I was riding last week, and they're actually a really good combo in terms of a mid-grip, mid-speed trail tyre pairing. And particularly, what their particularly strong suit is, they love a drift. Because you've got very pliable rubber on a very, very sort of fluid carcass, they really, really drift nicely, and it's a really progressive release. So you can proper slide these about, and again, because you've got the siped front with a bit more softer compound on it, just a pairing you can actually take real liberties with in terms of on-trail antics, and great from that point of view. So that's what I think of them so far. I mean, like I say, I've had them a few months and they've held up fine, but I'll be passing them on to some of my crew up here in the north of England to get some more miles into them, just to see, because there are already signs of quite a lot of wear on that grip front there. So we'll see how that goes longer term. I can imagine that's going to wear out. Based on the previous Teravail tyres I've had and the rubber compound, I don't think that's going to last long in terms of actual tread life. So we'll see how that plays out. But in the meantime, if you have any user feedback on these Teravail tyres, I'm looking at you, America, because you're more likely. I mean, they're a relatively new tyre, but as the brand's more popular over there, I'm hoping we can get some feedback from stateside, where I wouldn't be surprised if these tyres do really well in a kind of desert, drier situation, kind of where the Schwalbe Wicked Will works really well. I would expect these tyres to go over equally well, if not better, in some ways. Although, again, even in the US, these are quite expensive at $80. So if you guys could chip in with your feedback, that'd be brilliant, though, because the more feedback we get from everyone, then obviously the richer this review becomes overall. It's not just my take on the tyres, but kind of a global dipstick on durability, durometer, rolling speed, all the kind of things that matter with tyres. So yeah, hopefully hear from you in the comments if you've used them. Be nice to hear from you in the comments if you consider using them, or you just will be sticking to proven brands and proven tyres rather than spending extra to give these a whirl. Always interesting to see what you guys think. But otherwise, subscribe if you haven't already. Click for notifications. Give it a thumbs up, like. If you've got fellow tyre sniffers in your social circle, then tell them about the channel. And if you just like if you think they'll like what I do with general testing anyway, get them to have a look at Guy Case TV. That'd be massively appreciated, as would anyone joining as a monthly Patreon sponsor or giving me a small donation via the YouTube gift button. If you found this particular review helpful, or if I've helped you with some buying advice in the past and you think that's worth showing a bit of recognition for. But I totally understand that times are tight, so it's great just to have you guys watching. And if you can watch to the end, that really helps the YouTube algorithm and will be massively appreciated. So I'll wrap this up by saying I've been Guy Kesterman on Guy Case TV, talking about the Teravail, Drawpoint and Camrock tyres, and it'd be great to hear what you think of them. Cheers, folks.